Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to week 5, the last week of the regular season for Coalition League's Summer Split Demacia Division. I'm Random Minion Caster, and on the blue side today, we've got Prismatic Esports facing off against Imagine Wagons on the red side here. Now, both these teams are standing near the bottom of the standings right now. Prismatic still looking for that all-important first series win for themselves this split here. So even though it might be a bottom of the table game, it will still be a very close one. Both teams wanting to pick up as many wins as they can as we close out the regular season. Now for Prismatic on the blue side, their top laner is going to be Just Storming in the jungle. Matsy, mid laner, Mickey Mouse for the win. And bot lane, So Amusing and LHE Dark Prince on the red side. For Imagine Wagons, they're going to have Imagines in that top lane. Granddaddy Jax in the jungle. Wild Goose Chase in the mid lane. XX Wolf as ADC and Spenlow as Thresh here. And we're going to hop right into the picks and bans here for Prismatic. Their bans are going to be the Warwick, Morgana, Echo, Annie, and Shen. Annie here at Wild Goose Chase, one of the few people who have played it in the league here. There's no bug with it. They're just banning it out. On the side of Imagine Wagons, they're banning out the Graves, Olaf, Darius, Mordekaiser, and Garen. So a lot of attention being paid to that top side. And the jungle here of Matsy and Just Storming. Now for picks, Prismatic going with Rakan, Kaisa in the bot lane, Hecarim in the jungle, Dr. Mundo in the top lane, and Galio there for them in the mid lane. Imagine Wagons going with the Amumu, Zaya, Thresh, Ornn, and Corki. And I do like the adaptation here from Imagine Wagons. They instantly pick up Zaya here to prevent Prismatic from getting that Lover's bot lane. So Zaya and Rakan getting split up a little bit here, and Prismatic as well. I like the Hecarim pick. Matsy did play it last week in, I believe it was game 2 against Glacial Omen. They didn't win the game, but Matsy did a lot of work on that Hecarim. So I'm glad to see it back here again because a lot of early ganks coming out of that one. So a lot of action on the map is what I'm going to be expecting from that Hecarim. And if we look at Prismatic's team composition here, it's really set up to let Kaisa excel. They've got a really solid front line here with the Mundo, with the Galio, lots of ability to get defenses around Hecarim, and Rakan going to be able to initiate really easily, especially that Hecarim can just dive at the back line here. So the Corki and Zaya for Wild Goose Chase and XX Wolf will have to be careful that they don't get caught out and just nuked out by Matsy, and that will also give easy access to the backline for the heroic entrance for Mickey Mouse as well. So Prismatic have a very aggressive composition which wants to pull the trigger. If they get their initiates off, if they get their engagements off, they can get some really solid good fights for themselves. On the side of Imagine, more orthodox front to back composition. They've got the move for Granddaddy Jax yet again now, and Granddaddy Jax does play a lot of this Amumu and does play it pretty well. Warwick is most played jungler, followed by Amumu with the Warwick, as you can see, banned away almost immediately from Prismatic. So they'll have the engage there, the Ornn as well for Imagines in that top lane. So they've got a very chunky front line, but they have no way to really get on that back line. That's where So Amusing gets a bit of a free pass. He can just free fire from the back of his team here. And they do have a lot of damage coming out of the Corki and Zaya. Sustained damage in fights, but not so much burst. So they'll have to be careful that they don't get bursted down right away by Hecarim. But they should be able to shred through Dr. Mundo and Galio. And for the side of Imagine, they're going to need to make sure they build an early Executioner's Calling here for themselves. They need to make sure they've got themselves some healing cut, or they will be struggling in the mid to late game. And with that, both teams are loading onto Rift. We will be joining them right here. Once again, on the blue side, it's Prismatic. On the red side, it's going to be Imagine Wagons. And neither of these teams with a particularly strong level 1. I'm not expecting to see any invades here. And Kaisa and Rakan, Dark Prince, and So Amusing, despite not being the Lover's bot lane, have managed to coordinate their outfits quite well as well.
A summoner has reconnected.
So at least some sort of skin synergy there going, even if the champion synergy is not necessarily the strongest top lane. We see Just Storming going in aggressively already, using those cleavers onto Imagines, and he's chunking Imagines quite a bit, almost down to 50% health. Just need one more cleave. There we go. Imagine's gonna have to be careful. He's probably just gonna go back to base right away here. But the interrupt from Just Storming, he wants to make sure Imagines pays a little bit. Is he gonna take another tower shot? No, he's not, and so Imagine should be able to get back to lane. Might miss a little bit of CS, but nothing major. Just Storming. Okay, yeah, he was just using the recall animation. They're not actually going to back to base. And Dr. Mundo in the top lane, not something we've seen a lot of recently here. Does perform better in the top lane than in the jungle, but has sort of fallen off in favor in that top lane. The premier tanks have been that Ornn, have been that Maokai, and we've been seeing Poppy make a bit of resurgence as well. So it will be interesting to see how the Mundo matches up into the rest of the team here and what he's really going to be able to do. And he's partially fallen out of favor because of a lack of AoE CC. The damage coming up of Mundo is really solid, but with the amount of executioners calling and Morello's healing cut being built nowadays in the game, it really does nullify a lot of the advantages that a Dr. Mundo has. So we'll have to see how that one works out. Is working quite well right now, as we do see Just Storming bullying out Imagines. Does miss the cleaver there, and if he misses cleavers, a lot of his damage will be reduced. Bot lane, Dark Prince aggressively going in. They're getting a lot of poke here onto Spendlow. Will not be able to proc that additional damage for So Amusing there, but Spendlow already down to 50% health. Does have to be careful. Every time he misses a death sentence, it might actually be his own death sentence. As we see Dark Prince, no issue going aggressively in. Top lane, just this wet noodle fight, constantly going at it. The grass will be undying for both the top laners here as well. Now we do see again another engage. The ignite onto Spendlow will force the flash out, will not be enough. First blood going in for So Amusing. This bot lane here, very, very aggressive from Dark Prince and So Amusing. And if they manage to just dominate here, I imagine Wagons going to have a huge problem for themselves. Xayah, very strong late game carry, skills up really nicely. Does a lot of AoE damage in the late game with those crits as well, but does have to sort of get to that point first. Now top lane, Imagine Wagons unloads his entire rotation onto Just Storming, wins the trade, and a lot of emotes coming up from both of these. And Just Storming might go down. Here's a bandage toss from Granddaddy Jax, does land. The gank is good. They've converted the kill and they've evened up the score here. Kill credit going over to Imagines there, and now Matzi showing up, is looking for a kill. The ignite coming down, will be able to secure it, and once again Matzi without that flash going for the smite ignite there. It worked out for him last week, and early game looks like it's working out for him right now. Able to kill Granddaddy Jackson. That will slow Granddaddy Jackson down. He's already behind quite a few camps and now is down a kill as well. And we've seen what happens when Matzi gets rolling. The lanes become less safe here, and he can just start finding kills everywhere, especially with squishies in the mid and bot lane. Mickey Mouse getting just a bit of damage. We do see Matzi driving by, but he's not even going to stop to say hi. Just going to run out the other end there. Looking for that early scuttle. Does have a level lead as well on Granddaddy Jax, so Granddaddy Jax will have to be careful if he wants to try and steal this one here. He won't want to get caught. Not to mention the bot lane of Prismatic right now is winning. Smite comes down. It's going to be Matzi securing this one, and he's going to go chasing after Granddaddy Jax. Just get a little bit of poke. Just assert his dominance and make sure he gets out. And we see Spendlow leaving that bot lane a little bit to get some vision down, try and protect Granddaddy Jax, and that's going to mean XX Wolf can't see us at all. So Amusing and Dark Prince have been doing such a good job of controlling this bot lane right now. They're shoving in constantly, and normally we do like to see bot lane set up freezes a little bit, but it's working out to shove out because it's giving Matzi the ability to push in aggressively, cut Granddaddy Jax off, slow Granddaddy Jax down, and give him control over that scuttle. They do have to be careful though, because the advantage they had will be nullified quite a bit by this wave here, as XX Wolf wouldn't be able to pick up quite a bit of gold. And So Amusing going back, buying that pickaxe, as well as the components of the tiers. A little awkward base timing. We would have liked to see that tier completed so that So Amusing could get it stacking here. But just short a little bit of gold. Could probably have stuck around for one more wave. And now XX Wolf and Spendlow just pushing this out as fast as they can. They want a base as well. They want to be able to match the base timings. Will not have enough money for that BF sword here for XX Wolf. So we'll have to see if they opt to stay around, pick up another wave or two, or if they go back and decide to buy different components instead. We've hardly spent any time in this mid lane right now because there's really not much to say. Mickey Mouse for the win in Wild Goose Chase, just farming up a storm here in the mid lane. We see the cull coming out of Wild Goose Chase, and that tells me that he just wants to farm, get some CS here. He's not looking to trade. He wants to scale up. And against a Galio, it's very hard. We've seen a lot of Galio here in the Coalition League, and Galio really strong in the early game here. His base damage is on his skills. As long as he can land the taunt, as long as he can engage on those ranged mid laners here, he does a lot of damage, and that's why we're seeing Wild Goose Chase opt for that cull and tier instead. He just wants to stack up, but that means Imagine Wagons going to have a huge dip in their power spike in the mid game here, so they've got to sort of be able to survive and skill up to the late game. And so far, we do see now Matsi at the Dragon here. He's looking to be able to secure the first Drake of the game, and that's going to be Ocean Drake. So nice pickup here for the early game, and with the way things are going, imagine Wagons looks like they want to extend the laning phase as well. For the side of Prismatic, they're not on a timer here. They can afford to just skill up as well. They have themselves that Kaisa who can output a lot of damage in the late game. They've got the Hecarim and the Mundo as well. Mundo skills up quite nicely into the late game. Can become an absolute unit, nigh unkillable. Even with healing cut there, his ultimate's still going to heal up substantial amounts of health. Now he does miss the cleaver. Horn coming out. Call of the Forge God lands, and he's popping quite a bit of damage, but the heal from Just Storming is able to make up for it. Heroic Entrance comes down. Will be able to net Mickey Mouse and assist there, but will not mean much else. He's going to teleport immediately back to lane as well. He doesn't want to miss anything here. Didn't even want to stop to go back to base. Doesn't have a lot of gold here. And we do see the heroic entrance already being used really well. And that's the danger in that top lane for Just Storming. Imagine's building some magic resistance right off the bat, looking for the Abyssal Cloak. You see Matsi, he finds and kills Granddaddy Jax alone. Looks like he caught him out in the river, chased him down into his jungle there. And that's that danger of that Hecarim. That's the power dip we're starting to see coming out from the side of Imagine Wagons right. They're losing priority in that mid lane here. Wild Goose Chase can't really roam out, can't do anything in the 2v2s, and they're losing the side lanes, pardon me, as well. Just Storming, we saw how he just solo killed Imagines effectively in that top lane right now. The teleport not being used for Imagines to get back to the lane will mean he has that available. Can look for a teleport gank to secure one of his other lanes, but where's he gonna go? His best bet's in that bot lane, but even in that bot lane right now, not really strong. We see the Caulfield's Warhammer coming out for XX Wolf here. That's the buy item he's using to match the pickaxe, and it's not really a huge advantage for him. Does still need to scale up further, and constantly see spend low getting chunked low as well. So they now find XX Wolf. They get a lot of damage. The turret does get one shot onto Dark Prince, and he's going to take a chunk as well, but it's only him, and he's the support. So Amusing, on the other hand, barely touched, and they managed to half health both XX Wolf and Spenlow, and that's the sort of suppression, the constant aggression I'm talking about in that bot lane, meaning that it's going to be very hard for Imagine Wagons to try and get a gank off here. They do have a small window while the heroic entrance is down for Mickey Mouse, though, but once that comes back up, there's really nowhere for them to gank. They just need to sort of stall out and survive this dip, get themselves that skilling in that mid lane, get that tier item completed, the mana immune stacking, get the sheen as well, but that will take quite a bit of time. And this is the window of opportunity here for Prismatic for the next 10 minutes here. They have themselves a window where they can just dominate, win pretty much any fight in equal numbers here. Well, to see what they opt to do, because Herald is on the map right now, but neither team looking like they're going for it. Matsi content to just farm up a storm. You can see how far ahead in CS he is right now, and that's reflected in the team gold. It's almost 2,000 gold up already for the side of Prismatic. Part of that is from the kill lead, but a lot of that is also just from the laning. In the top lane, we see about 800 gold lead here for Just Storming. He's sitting in a bush just waiting for Imagines to overstep, and he can go in just like that. A good dash away from Imagines will keep him safe, but he's still going to lose a bit of health there as punishment. Again, half his health getting chunked down just from cleavers in the jungle. About 1,000 gold lead here for Matsi without his flash, and that's absolutely dominating in the bot lane. About 600 gold as well for So Amusing, and this is the issue. Spenlow now starting to roam up. He has completed his Moby Boots. Do see the package on Wild Goose Chase here. Has the tier, is stacking that. They're just looking to try and apply pressure. I think this is a good move from the side of Imagine Wagons. Just leave XX Wolf alone there to farm up, but it has called Dark Prince and So Amusing up, and now Spenlow has to be careful. It's going to drop the pink there, will clear out that ward, and it looks like So Amusing is just going to go back to base here. Prince just going a little bit aggressive, getting a little bit of poke. Without the backup, there's really nothing he can do here, and we do see XX Wolf stepping up, wanting to duel a bit with So Amusing, but has to be careful because Dark Prince is going to be the first one down to that lane there. And it looks like Imagine Wagons might be trying to set up for the Dragon. It's going to be the Mountain Drake, and it's going to be a one of a kind. I'm not sure this is the hill they want to die on here on that Mountain Drake. So now Matsi looking for a gank here. He's getting the movement speed boost. He's going to out in. The Fear is not going to be able to land. The Flash as well as the Valkyrie away from Wild Goose Chase will keep him safe for now. But that's his flash down for the next 5 minutes. we might see a repeat gank here. The onslaught of shadows here, only 2-minute cooldown, so we'll be up way before the flash from Wild Goose Chase. And we're back to that holding pattern, that farming here, but we are seeing the zone coming out in the bot lane here a little bit. The lane isn't gonna freeze exactly, so we'll be able to. So XX Wolf and Spendle will be just fine waiting for that wave to push in. You can see they're getting zoned out quite badly as well. And XX Wolf doing a great job making sure the CS is fairly even, despite that the engage coming in once again. Spendle getting taken low, Ignite coming down as well. The heal comes across, will keep him safe. The ultimate from XX Wolf as well, and they will be able to get enough arrows. They turn it around. It's going to be Spenlo picking up the kill there onto Dark Prince, and Matty aggressively going in. It's going to eat quite a few turret shots. The teleport coming in from Imagine. The Ornhorn sounds. They tag onto Soul Music. Can Soul Music get away? Probably not. No summoners left. But manages to turn it around, pick up the double kill onto Spenlo. So that's going to be a 2 for 2 in the bot lane. And that was the teleport used from Imagines as well. Goose Chase going to use his teleport to run to that top lane. Make sure they don't lose too much here. And now Mickey Mouse finally going to walk down into that bot lane. Chose not to use the heroic entrance, was not in position. So 2 for 2, but they might look to pick up this Drake as well for the side of Prismatic Esports. Granddaddy Jax is here, but he's 3 levels down from Matsy. That's absolutely massive. There's next to no chance in hell that he gets a Smite Steal here unless Matsy goes down first. That dragon already being taken low. Matsy able to do a lot of damage while remaining quite healthy here. And that's going to be yet another Drake picked up from Prismatic Esport. And that's going to be the story of this game for the next little while with the level lead that Matsy have. He's 2-0-2, almost double the CS of Granddaddy Jackson. That means a lot more when it's the jungler doubling the CS, because a lot of these jungle creeps are worth more gold than minions in the lane. So that is an absolutely dominating lead here coming out of the side of Prismatic Esports. And yeah, if you are Prismatic Esports, you don't want to just sit back on your heels right now. You want to continue snowballing your lead. And I think one of the biggest things they can use to get that is the Herald right now, still untouched at 13 minutes in the game. One of the few games where Herald not heavily contested in the beginning of the game early on time. So I think that's where Prismatic should be looking to go. And if you are the side of Imagine Wagons right now, just kind of turtle up for now. You haven't hit your power spikes quite yet. If you're Granddaddy Jax, you need to start looking for some ganks. Now, bot lane, we do see the heroic entrance. It does manage to just tag XX Wolf, and he's going to go down immediately there. Lantern not going to be enough to save him in the top side. Granddaddy Jax getting found by Matsy again. Matsy more than happy to pick up this oversized jungle buff here. And now Imagine's having the flash over wall, but Just Storming will follow him there because Just Storming has the slows, wants to get the kill. The knockup will stop it for now. The cleaver misses, but Just Storming just needs that one more auto. He gets it, and he's just going to ignore the turret, walking right through. And Prismatic snowballing their lead here just through kills and better map rotations. If you're Imagine Wagons, you can't afford to keep giving up these kills here. You need to be aware. They've lost the turret as well, and suddenly the gold lead ballooning up to about 5,000-6,000 as they lose both the top and bottom turrets. Well, Imagine Wagons does need to sort of take time to scale up. They can't afford to lose this much while they do it here. While all the outer turrets are up, they can just, you know, sit back and try and scale evenly. But now that they've lost so many turrets, they're going to lose the Herald. Probably means they're going to lose that inner, sorry, not the inner, the outer mid turret as well. It's already half health. Shelly at this point alone would almost delete it. So they just need 1 or 2 more autos, and that should be the mid turret going down. And with that much being lost right now, with the gold lead ballooning so much, they now need to start being proactive, need to set up some ganks here as well, some death traps, some bushes, and they need to start taking control of the vision, because right now we do see 2 pings out from the side of Prismatic. It's a bit spotty on their vision, but that's okay because they're far in the lead. But if you take a look here at Imagine Wagons, their vision is really quite weak, especially on the top side, where we do see Wild Goose Chase just drop himself a fresh ward there. But before that, they had nothing, and that's why Granddaddy Jax, you saw, had absolutely no clue when Matsy was coming in for him, looking to kill him here. And this is one of the risks of picking an Amumu into a Hecarim here. Or actually, it was quite the other way around. The Hecarim was being picked into the Amumu, but it's kind of risky sometimes blind picking that Amumu. He needs strong lanes to protect him early in the jungle against aggressive junglers, the likes of Hecarim, Lee Sin, Nidoe, Graves, which are currently very much in meta here. And now we do see the taunt coming down. It's a 2v3, but the 2 seems to be winning here. Dark Prince aggressively going in. Has to be careful. The Ignite is on him. He is getting ticked down. Will be able to dash away to safety. And So Amusing now finally has arrived, but so has Wild Goose Chase as well. And now Matsy is in. He's a lot of damage. Dark Prince somehow surviving that with a fraction of health. The burst coming up from that onslaught of shadows will be able to clean up here. That lawn mower just keeps on whirring, and they pick up 3 in that mid lane fight here. And Matsy now 5-0-2 here. Picked up a double kill in that fight. They dropped the herald in the top lane, and Just Storming able to pick up the inner turret in that top side. Very nice here for Prismatic, and Prismatic looks like they are wanting to end the game. Not right necessarily off this push, but they have certainly turned on their gas here, and Just Storming now going to be able to take yet another turret in this top lane. Might not be able to survive, but still, that's 2 turrets in the top lane, and one of them's a base turret that has been cracked wide open. Definitely worth it. The healing from Just Storming right now, absolutely massive. He dodges the call of the Forge God, and he's burning so much time here. What is the rest of Prismatic doing? They went back to base. They're not getting anything here. The shutdown does come across for Exit Wolf. It's only a small bounty, though 200 gold here. And despite the amount of time he wasted, we didn't see Prismatic really get anything here. Now they're going for this outer mid lane turret, but it's just a little too late here. They won't be able to get it. The dragon will be spawning in about 5 seconds here. They do have priority on it. We do see XX Wolf in that top lane, and 4v4, they definitely have the stronger composition, not to mention how fast Matsy can shred this down with So Amusing joining. We can see that dragon taking down 2,000 health already, 1,000 health, and it's gone here. And now it's Imagine, who has to be careful. He's in the middle of 4. Will get shredded down. He's dead already. Matsy zoning out everybody else. Heroic entrance coming in. Will not find anybody. And now Matsy's going to take the blast cone over the wall. Will not be enough to keep him safe. XX Wolf firing back, getting one for the team. But So Amusing is popping off here. Picking up a double. Can he get the triple? No, because Just Storming going to steal that one. Still, it's a 1-4 here for Prismatic. And they're going to be able to get yet another turret, or maybe even 2 here, as their prize on top of that Cloud Drake. And they're just so far in the lead right now that there's really nothing Imagine Wagons can do. They pick lanes which take a little too long to come online. The Executioner's calling, at least coming up for XF Wolf right now, will be able to benefit them if they can get the numbers advantage. Should be able to get Just Storming. They can't quite seem to find this inhibitor turret, but 3 of them, despite ignoring the turret damage, do actually manage to force Imagine Wagons to not engage on them. Mickey Mouse did manage to finally get that outer mid turret, but he can't get the inners. We see the teleport coming down from Wild Goose Chase right now. And Prismatic winning the fights. They're not going to go back. They're still looking to siege a little bit. They want to see if they can get themselves a little bit more, but they do have to be careful because Matsy is not with them. And Matsy right now, very, very fed. Second highest, just barely lower in gold than So Amusing there. And if we do take a look at the items right now, he's got the Trinity Force completed. He's got his Cinderhulk Stalker's Blade completed as well. It's still outputting so much damage into the backline. You compare that to Granddaddy Jax, who does have his own Cinderhulk there, but has not completed a second item yet. Just sitting on that Thornmill cuts some of the healing, at least, from Just Storming. And right now, it doesn't look like Imagine Wagons can win any team fights that they pick. Even if they have the numbers advantage right now, you can see how hard it is for them to melt through the tank that is Just Storming. And the sheer amount of disruption Dark Prince is putting out on this Rakan as well, absolutely massive. He has been playing a lot of Rakan recently, polishing that champion off. And it's definitely showing here in this game right now. Engages have been on point, and just the way he can get the knockups, the stuns, the taunts here does make it such that Imagine Wagons can't follow up. Even if they get that 5-man Curse of the Sad Mummy, the 5-man knockup from the Ornhorn there, they just can't follow up in that damage, and in the amount of time it takes them to try and burst somebody down. So Amusing just shreds through everybody, and Matsy as well just gets into that backline, turns the lawnmower, the blender, whatever you want to call that one on, and he just shreds right through. Now, we do see, it looks a bit like a 2v4 right now, and yet you can see how difficult it is for them to really get some poke. Exit Wolf going to get the short end of the stick in that exchange there, as he kind of gets taken down to half health. Meanwhile, Just Storming looking for this inhibitor turret that they started up so long ago, and he's now going to turn on Imagine. Imagine should have known once that turret goes down, he's going to be exposed. Spenlow running across right now, will throw the lantern, that's going to give him a bit of shield. He's going to get back out, but they can't kill Just Storming, not these two. They need the damage coming out of Wild Goose Chase and XX Wolf, and they need the healing cut as well. Spenlow has to be careful here. It's just trying to buy time for XX Wolf to come in as well, but he might pay for it with his life. The cleaver comes across. Just Storming gonna flash in, look for the kill. Just Storming running out, is getting healing cut right now. We'll just ignore the turrets potentially. He turned around, and I think that might be a mistake, but it's fine because Granddaddy Jax goes down. That's a 1-for-1 heroic entrance now coming in, and Mickey Mouse might not want to be here. He tries to flash, but he goes into a wall. That's going to be a double kill here for Imagines. Mickey Mouse serving himself up on a silver platter there. That will make it an even 2-for-2 trade right here, but they did manage to pick Baron up, and that's huge here for Prismatic because now they can shove in. They're going to be able to get a chunk of damage here. The Siege Minion finally goes down while Goose Chase taking that one out, and Prismatic just going to back out for now. They don't want to over push, lose the Baron here. They want to go back and spend some of that gold that they're sitting on, not to mention Cloud Soul coming up in about 40 seconds here. Will be Cloud Soul for Prismatic if they can pick it up, and it will benefit them so much. The ultimate increasing their movement speed means Soul Musing will be that much more mobile, that much harder to pin down. Matsy getting that movement speed buff not only makes it easier for him to access the backline, but he will also get damage increase due to the Hecarim passive, and Just Storming already gets a movement speed with his ultimate there, the Sadism, pardon me. But having even more will be better, especially since he doesn't have a gap closer. Has to run in, walk in to really get his damage off. And Prismatic right now, just so far in the lead, 11,000 gold up, having all the neutral objectives. Now we see the teleport coming down from Imagines. He's going to pull the trigger immediately. Ornhorn coming across. They do manage to find Dark Prince, but Mickey Mouse is there. He gets the taunt, and the disruption is starting. We do see Matsy coming into the midst of 5 with the onslaught of Shadow. Spenlow taken low, still alive though, and Granddaddy Jax manages to take Soul Musing down in the backline. That's a lot of sustained damage dead. We do see Wild Goose Chase dead as Just Storming charges into the back. His Sadism taking. He's got the movement speed buff. They're going to continue chasing XX Wolf. XX Wolf pulled out of the fight, but Granddaddy Jax, ironically, the one actually outputting a ton of damage here. They don't want to stick around. Imagine's using the bush play to get himself out to safety. Blastcone taken out as well. Granddaddy Jax will finally go down. That was honestly the best fight in a way that Imagine Wagons could have hoped for. And even then, they still end up losing that one 2-3. So going the way here of Prismatic Esports. There is still the Baron buff on the side of Prismatic for a little while longer. They're going to look for one last push here with that Baron buff. See what they can get. They have an exposed top lane and bot lane inhibitor. The last inhibitor turret going to be that mid lane here for the side of Imagine Wagon. So Prismatic should be able to push up quite comfortably. They finally take down the last inner turret for themselves. And again, Prismatic should be able to win any even fight. You saw them win that fight where they didn't quite have everybody ready for that. It started out as a 4v5 here, and Granddaddy Jax got an amazing Curse of the Sand Mummy into the backline, but that's going to be about it for them. And so their best bet is to try and fight under the turret, but one turret might not be enough, and they can't afford to lose everything here. All the inhibitors are also be double super minions as well pushing into the base, and that is something they can guarantee not deal with here. So barring a huge throw from Prismatic, it does look like it's gonna be a Prismatic win for now. And if you are the side of Imagine Wagons, I think you need to be looking here at the rest of the series. What are they going to do? And I think we spoke about it earlier a little bit about how drafting an Amumu first pick here for themselves on the red side with really weak lanes. If you want to pick that Amumu, you need to make sure that you've got fairly solid lanes, at least somewhere here. Either have good solid side lanes, or your mid lane needs to be strong enough to back you up, because if not, this is going to happen. A 4-level lead from Matty. I believe this is the biggest level discrepancy we've seen for the junglers, and Granddaddy Jax just barely managing to get out with that lantern. But I mean, Matsy effectively didn't really burn anything going after Granddaddy Jax. That the Onslaught of Shadows will be up soon enough. It's only a 1-minute cooldown right now with that double Cloud Drake. So by the time the next wave arrives here, should have it available once again. And they're going with a 2-2-1 split push as well. So Matsi not going to look to fight, just to sort of draw pressure and try and get some damage down on that turret. No one right now can go toe-to-toe with Matsi. At level 15, he's actually ahead of the mid lane Mickey Mouse here as well as Imagine. So he's in a really, really good position. 7-1 and 7 as well. Highest KP on his team. Highest kills tied with So Amusing here. If you're Imagine Wagons, maybe you ban out that Hecarim next game. I mean, there are other champions that Matsi can play as well, which can put as much pressure onto an Amumu, but this Hecarim pick, I don't think they have an answer to it. And if you don't have an answer, then well, the best you can do is just to ban it out here. So I'm expecting to see a stronger pickup in the mid lane for Wild Goose Chase next game. Something that can back up Granddaddy Jax there, or Granddaddy Jax picking a more aggressive jungle. I think the Amumu pick was fine. Granddaddy Jax performed quite well on it in the team fights. It's just a matter of making sure he can get to that team fight stage. And now Just Storming looking potentially to get, finally we'll get that inhibitor turret. And we do see that X6 Wolf extremely low right now. We'll get taken down the Ignite from Dark Prince. Heroic entrance coming in, and now Granddaddy Jax running away, trying to survive. Will get the Curse of the Sand Mummy off, but a smite from Matsi going to finish him off now in a Wild Goose Chase, getting slaughtered under his own turret. It's only going to be Imagine's left alive here. The tank, what can he do? Nothing really. He can't even effectively clear these waves, and Prismatic just taking their time, making sure they clear all the inhibitors before they go on to the Nexus turrets here. We're waiting for their minions as well. And that's the Nexus turrets going down. Their splitting focus is going to take both down in short order. And that should be the Nexus as well. Imagine one last stand, trying to just delay what he can. And we'll just feed a free kill over the way of Matsi. Matsi ending this one 9-1 and 7 here in a 28-minute game for game 1. Prismatic taking this one handily here. All Prismatic lanes just won right here without Matsi's interference as well. Just Storming 7-3 and 4, wrecking Imagine in the face, and Mundo does quite well into the tanks actually with that cleaver, with that percent health that he can quite easily spam as well. In the mid lane, Mickey Mouse 1, 2, and 16 doesn't look impressive, but when you look across from him, Wild Goose Chase was 0, 2, and 5, the lowest KP on his team, could not find a kill, and a lot of that just came down to the way Mickey Mouse was containing Wild Goose Chase in the mid lane there. It's not that Wild Goose Chase wasn't trying to get into fights, wasn't trying to get the damage, he just couldn't find the kills here. And in the bot lane as well, So Amusing in Dark Prince, especially Dark Prince, the way he aggressively went in on that Thresh there, no fear whatsoever, knowing that he could win a lot of these trades, a lot of these all-ins. Well played from them. And so Imagine Wagons going to have to do a bit of hard thinking here, going to game 2, trying to think about what they can do to change things up for themselves here. And if they do want to play that sort of more passive early game, they're going to need to find a way to make sure their jungler does not get absolutely shredded. And Granddaddy Jax does have other junglers he can play as well. We've seen him on the Jax actually, so the Jax would have been could be a very solid pickup for game 2. Much better early game. The Kayn or even the Vi as well, I think we've seen him play as well with the Vault Breaker changes, can be a much more proactive champion to try and get his lanes rolling. And with that, we are going to head into a short intermission break right now while we set up for game 2. So we'll see all y'all in a couple minutes here.